My parents are pretty rich. I grew up on the Upper East Side in a townhouse they've owned for 30 years. It was worth a lot when they bought it, and it's worth a lot now. So I actually grew up with something like a yard, and when I was a little kid, we'd go out there and plant carrot seeds and tomato starts. At the end of the season, yanking a carrot out of the ground was like a magic trick. That tiny seed, too small for even my little fingers to manage on their own, had become this big, beefy, orange grocery store item covered in wet black dirt. It was like putting a bottle cap in the ground and pulling out a Coke. Those underground crops, carrots, beets, potatoes, onions, were my favorites. Even when we were growing things in pots and boxes, I loved the idea that things were happening out of view, that if you just scraped the surface, something as magical and perfect and tasty as food would just fall out. It never occurred to me at the time that gardening was something my mom was doing for me. But when I grew up and my interests changed, the gardening went away, and I didn't even consider more than watering a houseplant until I called my mom a few months after April died. "I can't let it go, Mom. She has to be somewhere," I was telling her over the phone, explaining an obsession that had blossomed in me. "No one else is looking. They've all just moved on." "Is it doing you any good?" "Me? What does this have to do with me? They haven't found her, Mom. I don't think she was in there." "Maya, love, where would she have gone?" "I don't know, that's the point. Outer space? Hoboken? I don't know. But I do know that life's not back to normal. Everybody thinks the Carls are gone, and the dream is gone, and it's all normal now. But it's not. I know how this sounds, but there are a lot of other people who think something's up." "How much time are you spending on the Somme?" "They're good people, Mom. I made a lot of friends there. It's better than Twitter." And that was, in several ways, true. The Somme was a small enough community that the kinds of people who got off on making others miserable were promptly banned. But in one way, it was worse. We built the Somme to be a social media platform just for solving sequences from the dream. It was a place for mysteries. To a hammer, everything looks like a nail. And to a social media platform designed to investigate mysteries, everything looked mysterious. The Somme was something I had really been proud to help build. It really had been part of making humanity feel more like one big thing. Now, it was the go-to platform for conspiracy theorists. But at least they were nice conspiracy theorists. And to answer my mom's question here, though I didn't answer it then, I was spending a lot of time on the Somme. "Maya, maybe go plant something." "What?" "Like when you were little. Or do something, knit, do a puzzle. I think you need to focus on something else for a while. Go make some space inside your head." It seemed extremely condescending at the time. Like, yes, Mom, it would be great if I could get a hobby that wasn't obsessing over my dead ex-girlfriend. That would be good for everyone, especially for you, since you wouldn't have to watch your daughter spiral further and further from reality. But that's not how it works, Mother. Except, to some extent, it really is. Because thinking about carrots existing somehow made me want to plant something, or tend something, or dig something. But I didn't have a yard. So, instead, I got on a train, and 30 minutes later, knocked on the door of my parents' townhouse on the Upper East Side. My mom answered the door. "Fine, let's plant something," I said, smiling just a little. And she smiled back and hugged me, and we went into the garden. She found a clay-colored plastic pot about a foot across, and I dumped a bunch of potting soil into it. Then we went into the kitchen and cut up a couple Yukon Gold potatoes, making sure each piece had an eye. Then, together, like when I was 5, we stuffed them down into the soil. "Mama, do you know how messed up I am?" I asked, fingers covered in dirt. "Honey," she said, her big worried eyes seeing all the way in. "You're just as messed up as you should be." I hadn't cried in a few weeks at that point. which made this one bigger.